Next, Nick. Okay. Well, everyone on the here has seen most of this before, but that's just a little bit about us. And we started these quickies just to help you wasting time, money, and reduce those headaches. So just grab a pen and paper and let's just get into it. Okay, so every Monday morning, hi Alban, you muted, my girl. Every Monday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time, and next week we're going to be doing be first on Google with some free simple steps. So I'm going to keep it nice and simple. So this is today, and I'm just going to run through how to increase engagement and conversions, and it's going to be a huge overview because it's such a big topic and it's so wide and so deep. So anyway, so next, Nick, otherwise we'll run out of time, kid. So expand your brand, as the queen of branding is on at the moment. Is that right? Nod your head. That good girl. Anyway, so another tip for you guys is that when on your phone when you used to just go and check in, and it had the check in on Facebook, and you used to go and if check in is not, I don't know whether you can see that. If check-in isn't there, just tap on what's on your mind, and then you'll come up with a list. And amongst that list is check-in, apart from tag friends and background color and camera and all that stuff. Well, there's a little tip for you. But just stay top of mind for people, and so they know that you're there. So that when they do make that decision, they're going to think of you straight off the top of their head. Anyway, Nick, sorry, continue. Okay, and just a little bit of etiquette, just minimize the chat, because that means we've got to read something else and do something else, and we want to keep this as short as possible. So give us a smile and a clap and thumbs up and all that stuff when you agree, and if you don't, shake your head, and then we know there's an issue and we can get it sorted. And if you drop off, just use the same login and the same password. So that's the password for this is the password and the login for every quickie that we're going to do. Okay, so you don't need to register again. You don't need to do anything again. Once people register once, this is it. Keep it simple. Okay, next, Nick. Okay, increase engagement and conversions. And the number one rule is, well, actually it's 3 steps, but I don't know whether there's anyone here apart from Brian and Ian and I and Jeff that remember back in the late 70s, early 80s, Norm, and Life Be In It. We need to remember that the customers, people out there are just like Norm. Okay, you just need to know that they're not motivated to get off their backside. Okay, you can't just expect them to get up and run around the block. Okay, it's got to sink in. So first you need to attract, then engage, and then convert. Whereas most people go try and sell. They try and convert people straight off. And they don't look at the long picture and look at the buyer's journey, okay? Because imagine getting Norm off his backside, away from the TV, and put his beer down and get him out just walking around the block, let alone going for a jog, okay? So if you can just remember that, I know we all want to just get the sale, we just want to make that happen, and get, and just engage them, but you need to attract them first. Okay, next. Oh, what was that? Who was that? Oh, very good. Okay. Okay. Next, Nick, similar ways to increase engagement and conversions. Um, uh, so as I said before, this is just an overview because it's extremely big, but I just want you to have a think about these couple of little points and whether you agree with them. Why have the best looking shop or store in the middle of the desert? You know, if you don't have traffic and you don't have the right traffic, you know, why would you have a baby wear shop in the middle of the desert and the only people that would come past are truck drivers? You know. Anyway, how do you feel when you walk into a rundown, disorganized shop and there's no customer service? Ian, how do you feel?
Like walking out again?
Yeah, right. Okay. Okay. And do you really know your ideal customer? And this is one of the first quickies we did with Brian when we went into the customer avatar. That's the most critical thing. Okay. You need to know Norm. And what motivates him and what beer he likes and what he likes watching on TV, and, you know, and when we're talking about your product, the customer doesn't want to know the features. They don't need to know that it's a high-speed blah 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 drill. All they need to know is it's a half-inch drill, so they can drill their half-inch hole, because they're after the benefits, which is the hole, not the tool itself. Okay, so because as the business owner, you always automatically think about the features. You know, it does this, it's this, it's this, it's this, but the customer is looking at it from what's best for them. What benefits them. And that's the hardest thing, isn't it, Brian? When you're doing some business coaching, is just to get it in their head. It's just because they're 99% focused on them and how great their product is, and it does this, it does this, it does this. Anyway, so you just need to be able to step back and keep it simple, sweetheart, or stud, or whatever. And remember the four R's. Well, this is what I call them anyway. You need to be relevant to them. It needs to be recent, because how often do you hate trying to find something online and the last thing you can find about it was 5 years ago, and you really need to know about it in 2020? You need to be respected, as Jeff understands, being a reputational marketing specialist. And everything needs to be really easy to purchase, really easy to get, really easy to navigate, everything needs to be easy. Okay, easy, and because if it's easy, it's going to be faster. People are impatient. Okay, so there's the four R's, and let's just run through these, Nick. Now, Google knows that people are looking for solutions for their problems and answers to their questions, right? This is what we have to remember. And customers are looking for relevant information or solutions from people that are experienced and authorities and trustworthy. Plus, customers want solutions that are easy to find, as well as fast and convenient to obtain. Okay, and they need to see value. They need to understand. They need to feel like they've made the right decision. Okay, so things we need to focus on. I forget what these slides are, Nick. So as I was saying before about your ideal customer, you need to be able to stand in their shoes and think, really think, and feel what benefits that they're after. and the value that they're going to get. Because we need to remember that people are emotional beings, they don't make a decision because it's rational. They make an emotional decision, then they back it up with their logic or their perceived logic. And we need to remember that in sales and marketing and in business, we need to remember that emotional intelligence is more important than IQ, okay? Because if you can't communicate with your customers, with your suppliers, with your peers, with whatever, you don't have anything. So we're just going to touch on a couple of factors, which are Google EAT and UX. So let me explain what that is, because Google uses these two. These are two of the main things that Google uses, and you need to understand how that works as well. So Google EAT is how you show up online, your experience, your authoritativeness, and your trustworthiness. Okay, fire away, Nick. So what qualifications do you have? How long have you been around? And is it clear to your customers and Google? Authoritativeness. How often do you let Google know that you're an authority in your field? Okay, because remember, Google wants to show the most recent and relevant information to the people searching, because at the end of the day, Google's a business and they need to, and it wants to make money. So it needs to have the best results it can, or it thinks it is. And so if it sees regular and recent content from you, well, it's going to think that you're an authority in that field as well, okay? And especially if you've got reviews on your Google My Business page, of course Google owns it, that also shows authority. But it's not just the number of reviews, it's also how recent and the score they are as well. So doing blogs on your website, especially if it's a WordPress website, because it's easy to add the script in the back, where when you press publish, it pings all the search engine feeder sites, or the ones that you list anyway. And so they get notified straight away that there's new content that they can come crawling and indexing content and images. So the way you name it, images, is another critical factor. Okay, next, Nick. And the third part of Google EAT, their ranking factor, is trustworthiness. So that comes into reviews and testimonials, but it's not just. So Google needs to see the reviews in writing, but also if they're videos and they're on YouTube, because Google owns YouTube, but also if they're text reviews, people need to see a real face, or like to see a real face or a real brand. And if it's linked as well, there's another backlink between you and whoever the other authoritative is. And so as long as you're linked, and if you can do that, that just builds that trustworthiness. Okay, does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, cool. Okay. And there's a link that about Google EAT. That's a blog post I did when it was a big thing at the end of last year, I think it came out. I can't, whenever I wrote it. Now, so I've already been through this. So Google's a business, so it needs to show the most recent and relevant content from reliable and respectable sources. So the next factor is the factor of UX, which is user experience. So we saw a huge change there when mobile devices became big, and websites needed to be mobile friendly.
Responsive.
Yeah, and so they can be seen easily and navigated on heaps of, you know, on all browsers, okay? So user experience is, and another thing about user experience is the distractions that you get. I don't know whether you've ever been to a website and they've got all the flashing ads down the side and everywhere else. You're trying to read this and you get distracted by all this junk over here. It's the same with social media. Hide your social media icons, because you want, these people are on your website to do something, and you want them to do something. You want them to engage with you. You want to build that rapport, that trust with them. And if you got social media icons, well, they're going to go off there. And are they ever going to come back? You know, have you lost them forever? So anyway, hide those right at the bottom, and limit the distractions. And if people are on your site, instead of them going to another page, is there a way that you can achieve the same result within that same page? I'll give you a couple of examples in a minute. And that link back there, I mean, you can just go and do a search on FindNet Solutions and you'll find that blog article. How do you make your ideal customer feel? Oh, colors, images, fonts, and content writing. It's easy to read. Now, which of those two are easy to read? Upper and lower case, the normal font, is that easy to read at a glance? Someone? Jane?
I think the capitals is easier to read, but sometimes people say you shouldn't use capitals because it's shouting.
It is shouting. But,
yeah, but it's easy to read.
Well, the majority of the population is not easy to read. And if you ask Alwyn, well, Alwyn reckons that you need to write content so it's a 14-year-old. I always said 11. But my students are smarter. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's I don't know. Anyway, so
for the media, it's you target as if you're speaking to a 14-year-old. But yeah, I think that I find that very annoying when I see all capitals like that. It feels to me like someone's shouting at me. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. I mean, it turns so many people off. So that's just one example. And you see it as in headlines all the time, but you want people on your website to feel comfortable. They don't want to be shouted at. People hate to be sold. Okay, next, Nick, just jump on the next one. Oh, is it easy to read? Now this is a good marketer. He's been around for a long time, but that text is more for print media. And when it's uppercase like that, that is so hard to read. If you look at attract new customers with a free Aussie family holiday, that writing underneath, that's so much easier to read than the ad above it. Okay. And he is one of the best marketers I know. Okay. But just because it worked 30 years ago or 20 years ago, you got to be able to stop, look back, and be a little bit more objective. And I don't want anyone here to mention that I've said that about what he does, because anyone that knows him, he's very outgoing. I just wanted to show you that even the best, whatever the best do, there's still little ways that you can improve it, that it's not shouting at people, and make them feel more comfortable and at ease, okay? Because if they feel better, they're going to come across the line better, easier, okay? Examples of user experience. Okay, so this is one of Brian's businesses, Holdfast Tattoo Supply. So you want to bring that up, Nick? Okay, so if you look at Holdfast Tattoo Supplies, when you just mouse over the menu down the left-hand side, See how it's so easy to go and navigate? People can get to whatever they need to easily, you know, and it's visual. So they, you know, they can get to whatever they need to in a couple of different ways. So it doesn't matter whether they're on a mobile device or a large screen device, because a lot of these, you know, the tattoo artists, they're going to be doing it on an iPad or their phone, aren't they, Brian? Okay.
Yeah.
But you also needed to appeal to the person, you know, that's at home or sitting in the office that needs to do it for a larger studio that's not going to do it on their phone, you know. So, and it needs to be nice and clean and presentable. So that was that. And the next point, I don't know whether it's worth going back, Nick, but was for call to actions and using pop-ups and bots and automated follow-up and emails. So just jump back to, say, Finance Solutions. I'll give you an example here. So if you have a look here, and if you click on that, no, we're just on the get a free strategy session. Oh, we'll just scroll down the page. Just scroll down the page, Nick. Okay. And if you look at, and we'll stop there. So let's look at that image to start with. Just scrolling so we can look into her eyes. And you see when you're scrolling the page, how she's looking at you. She's saying something to you. And that's the same as on a mobile device. But just go and click on that. No, we'll just close that for a sec. Now, just click on that button, get a free strategy session. Now, we do have a page for the strategy session, but I don't want to distract people. They've only just arrived on our website. I don't want to distract people. So now they can get that same information. And when they close that and finish it, they're still on that page. And so now they can keep scrolling down and look at the other advantages, and on and on. And here again is a page. You just go up, Nick, sorry. Just go up to this one here, pay as you go. So here's an option that they can pay a deposit up front and pay it off as they go. And once again, they're not dragged away to that separate page, but that separate page is there, so it can be indexed and Google can find it, so it can be found in a search. So just close that, Nick, and we just jump down to, say, the testimonials at the bottom to give people a bit of an idea. So there's Brian again. And also on these YouTube videos, we've got the text underneath as well with tags and all of the other things. So even if they see it as a YouTube video, there's a way to get them from the YouTube video back to Finance Solutions or Easy Online Biz Solutions. So here it's appealing. People can watch it. They're nice and short. They're nice and brief. Next one. And it just shows a depth of the services that we offer. From the marketing meetups that we ran to the types of websites that we do. Just go again to look at that. I did, we did his first website in 1999, you know. And that was a video that we recorded then. So it shows the depth of experience. Next again, Nick. Okay, and this is 2001. So it just shows you that I'm an old fart. You can laugh at that. It wasn't my birthday yesterday. Next, Nick. I just want to show just, what's the next one?
That's the beginning now.
No, again, I just want to show some depth of, okay. So this shows that a marketing consultant that's done marketing for big companies actually got some value from one of our sessions. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's that. But then you've got the chatbot down the left-hand side. So without leaving the site again, without having to go to the Contact Us page, someone can type that in and it'll pop up with a couple of suggestions. And because I'm sitting in my office all day anyway, it can pops up on my screen and I know someone's asking the questions. Or I've got the app on the phone and so I know that someone needs an answer right now. So What other points did we have, Nick? Just with the ease of people with automation. And as I said, this is just an overview, but I just wanted to just for you guys to see that there's, just because you think it's a great thing, it may not be, okay? Like uppercase font, you know, and things like that. So we need to keep it simple, as if it's 11 to 14-year-old. Is that right, Aldwin? 11 to 14-year-old. I used to say 7 to 11, but I've been swayed. So anyway, so if you just think, if it's a primary school kid before it goes into high school, or first form of high school, what is going to be easy for them to absorb, to keep their attention, and so that's what we need. We need to stand in our customers' shoes and look at the benefits and what they're after, and then we just need to remember that they're only kids. Nick, you want to jump in?
So we're also going to asking questions, like
Okay.
on a website that works. Going to make them think about what they need,
Yes.
and about the importance of following up. When you've got their details, you've got to follow them up to convert them into paying customers. And
the thing is that if it's within 5 minutes, they will probably still remember you. But if you leave it 5 hours, they've already been to 15 other websites and looked at 15 other things, you know, or 15,000 other things, and been distracted so many times. And they're just trying to remember, oh, which one were you? You know, were you the pink site, the blue site, the orange site? What was that deal you had? Because it's a noisy world. Now, it used to be a noisy world. Now everyone's stuck at home, or as good as stuck at home. They're spending more time with more stuff in front of them. It's a noisier world. So you just need to be clearer, easier, more relevant to them, and be nice and easy. So I've got 11-year-old. I should have put -14. Sorry, Aldwin. And repurposing content. Nick, do you want to give them a bit of an example of repurposing content, an easy way of doing it? Because a lot of people just spend so much time just repurposing content that they go about it back to front. But you want people at your website, that's where they're going to be making that decision to purchase, to make a contact with you, or to whatever. Yep, normally. So if you put the content on the website and then you grab the link from wherever it is and you put it into a post, you want to give them a demo of how to do that. We'll just grab a link off Brian's, off Old Fast Tattoos or something, and just...
We're running out of time. I was trying to shorten it.
Sorry?
We have 7 minutes.
Okay. Just grab a product. I'll just grab a product from Brian's side. Okay. Okay, so you copy the link, and then up in the, oh, sorry, Nick, I'm making you go all the way back there. And up where it says to write a post, just copy the URL in, and it'll drag, give it a minute. Oh. It's thinking still.
It's thinking too long.
No. It's all right. It's all right. No. Oh.
God.
It was there. It was nearly there.
It's no picture to pull up, so it's really not working. Okay.
Right. Anyway, so if you grab a link, it'll fetch. Yeah. Okay. It'll fetch the image and the description, and you can just put something catchy at the top to attract their attention. So you don't have to retype it. You don't have to find it. It can be any URL from any website, it can just drag it. And if there's a relevant image, it'll grab it. If you want to add extra images, you can grab it too. Okay. So this way, when they want to read more, where do they go? To the store. They're not distracted by Facebook or by any other products or anything else or any other suggestions. The only other suggestions are other products that you're selling or other articles that you've done or other benefits that you can offer them. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Okay. So we've just spoke about repurposing. We got to remember the buyer's journey, because we got to remember, if you're advertising or you're doing ads or something, and people are saying, yeah, social media is, the best form of advertising, depends. Yes, it's cheaper, but you need to remember that people are not on social media to buy anything. Okay, they're only there to find out what's going on and catch up with, who's who doing what and where. When people are looking for something, what do? If you want information or you want a solution, what do you do? Apart from ask your wife.
Google it.
Hey, that's it. Okay, so you need to remember, if you're going to do a Facebook ad or anything else like that, you need to remember that that person needs to be taken from a norm, okay, all the way through the buyer's journey to where they understand they've got a problem, and then they can see the benefits that you're offering. Okay, so it's a longer journey with social media marketing. And you need to understand that, because if you just put one ad up and expect it to work, if it's just a commodity, you might get away with it. It depends on the price point. But if you can follow that person up, you're miles in front. Like if you do, how many times have you been and looked at a website and then you've seen a suggestive ad come up on a browser every time if you've gone to another website or something, and it happens to be right there again, another another ad for them reminding you that you were there. Okay, so it's the buyer's journey. You've got to remember the buyer's journey when you do that. Okay, just to close off, guys, we're just about run out of time. I noticed this last week. We used to use ANZ as a merchant facility, to process credit cards, and that used to cost every month and everything. So now we use Square or Square Up, and it's free to use, and the only fees you pay are the credit card fees, which is 2.2%. But they've also got where you can create e-gift cards. So you can have an e-gift card and set them up for nothing. And it's only when people use them that you pay your 2.2%, which is your normal credit card transaction fee. And they've got a local buy directory as well that they can go into. And I think for $1.25, you can get a proper card as well. But this may be something that you may be interested in. It came across my desk last week, and I saw it and I thought, well, that's a handy idea, especially like for Brian, if you want to have an e-gift card for your gloves and sanitizers for that new business that you've just kicking off. Well, then you've got a gift card, apart from the gift box that you've been talking about, you've got a gift card idea that costs you nothing, and it's only the transaction fee for when they actually buy it and use it that and so that might be something that you can use in your business. It might be something that, we don't know. Anyway, let's ask some quickie questions.
Got a minute.
I got a minute.
Let's take a picture.
Okay. I'm going to get kicked off.
What was the 4 R's again?
Recent, relevant, reliable, and really easy, really fast, really quick, really I'm
He's
going to
done
take a
something.
photo. Everything's
Ready?
got to be really good. Okay. What are you taking a photo of, Nick? Screenshot of the wrong one.
What do you mean?
It looks like it's the wrong thing on my end anyway.
That's fine.
Okay, guys, was that good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I know it was just an overview. I just wanted you to get something to see. Thinking during the week about even the best marketers are not perfect, okay? And, you know, so just stop and think and be in your customers' shoes and think like your customers, okay? And give us a review, okay? Thanks, guys.